Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. We got so much to cover today. This is a good one. This what happened yesterday with Pam Bondi and those Epstein files. It's all coming together, people, and people are getting all excited. They want to hate on Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi has everything under control, and there's nothing to worry about here. I know they're panicked, and there's a lot of trolls pretending to be MAGA that are giving Pam Bondi a hard time here too. You got to remember that. Don't forget that. And Pam Bondi is doing great. Everything is could not have gone better for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and all of us. These deep staters played right into Pam Bondi's hands. No getting around it. No getting around it. We'll be live in about 5 minutes on the radio. I'm still setting up over here. Got so much to cover today. Well, thank you, Clarice. I'm just off camera. I'm setting things up over here. I'm still getting ready. I will still got 3 minutes till showtime, so I gotta just running a final check. And here, we are good to go. Okay, we are coming on in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Yeah, and of course we will be taking calls. And, I'm going to do a pretty detailed breakdown of everything that happened yesterday. But today is open phones, okay? It's Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on today's show. If you're new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And I know a lot of you already know this that are regulars. If you're watching on this vertical stream with the green screen, you will not hear the audio sound bites or see the video. You will hear the callers, but I'm going to start my other stream in a few moments. And if you watch on my wide stream, the more traditional stream, you'll hear all the audio sound bites and see the video that I play and the articles that I go over and everything there. I'll make sure you hop over there if you want to have all that. Otherwise, you can just hear me and the callers and talk amongst yourselves here. And there's a chat room in the other video as well. Got about a minute and 20 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. We're going to be live on the radio in less than 60 seconds, and I'm going to jump right into everything that happened yesterday with Pam Bondi and these Epstein files. People are really hating on Pam Bondi, and you know what? They shouldn't, because Pam Bondi, she did a great job. She made one little mistake, one little mistake, but that's okay. We'll get into all of it and take your calls as well. Remember, it is Friday, and that means it's Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. You're not limited to the topics that I bring up. All right, stand by. 10 seconds. There we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. We got a lot to cover today on this Friday, February 28th already, can you believe? And I'm going to cover a lot. It is Friday, which means open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And while I have a lot to cover, and I'm going to start here in a moment with something incredibly important, on Friday, the show prep is up to you in the listening audience. On Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up, okay? The other 4 days of the week, we try to corral you in, which is like herding cats, to talk about the topics that we bring up. But on Friday, the show prep is up to you guys. You are welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on today's show. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now, I'm going to talk about what happened yesterday with Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Epstein files. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. I will start taking calls after the first break. Okay, but I want to open up a little bit about this. And during the course of the program, I'm going to go through in a lot of detail on what happened yesterday. And just to give you the summary, the deep state made a major move to embarrass Pam Bondi, embarrass the Trump administration, and to reestablish that they're the real government, they're the real leaders. And it was an epic fail. Oh, I got a sneeze coming. Hold on, guys. Excuse me. I'm allergic, obviously, to deep state coups, which is what yesterday was. The Epstein files is a campaign promise of the president. And it's also a promise that was given to us by Attorney General Pam Bondi. And there was an announcement that she was going to release the Epstein files on Saturday, and then all of a sudden we found out she was going to do it yesterday. And what she did is they had some conservative influencers, DC Drano, Cernovich, Libs of TikTok, Liz Wheeler, and some others at the White House yesterday, and they gave them what they had, and these conservative influencers came out with these binders that said Epstein Files Phase 1, and they held them up in front of the White House, and they were all excited. And then nothing. It was like radio silence for a while. And I was in shock because I was expecting that these conservative influencers would immediately go live on whatever platforms they're on and start reading from the binder. And no one did it. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Because I know that if I were in that crew and they gave me the binder, as soon as I walked through the White House gate and I was out on the public sidewalk, I would sit down on the sidewalk in front of the White House, pull out my iPhone, start a YouTube live stream on my YouTube channel, and just start reading from the binder. But they didn't do that. And I was very puzzled by this. And then Jack Posobiec, who was one of the ones that was there, he tweeted that he was going to be live on X in a few minutes and talk about it. So he comes on. He's sitting, and this is just a short time after he got the binder. He's broadcasting live in a studio somewhere, and sitting in front of his microphone is the unopened binder that I saw them all walk out with, and he's not reading through it, and he's really not talking too much about it. So I'm like, what's going on here? And I was getting very aggravated about this, and then my first thought was this. Okay, now I did tell you guys, I've been telling you guys this for a week, but I told you guys yesterday towards the end of the program that it's going to be a big nothing. Do not expect much from these Epstein files, because my guess would be that when the powers that be got the files, they took what was incriminating with all these public officials, elected officials, former presidents, and all of this, and celebrities, and they went in that the J. Edgar Hoover files, which they still have and they add to all the time. So I wasn't expecting much, but then I thought, well, maybe there's a bunch of new names of people, and these conservative influencers don't want to be first, which is insane. These people are clickbait people that always want to be first, but they don't want to start naming names of people, because while it's difficult to slander a celebrity, a public person, it's very difficult if you're a public person to claim slander, except in some rare instances. And one of them is accusing them, no matter how famous they are, no matter how much of a public person they are, of being a pedo and sex offender and stuff like this. So I thought, well, maybe they don't want to be first because they're afraid of getting sued. And then time goes on and on and on. And I was waiting for these all day, which is not my normal way that I operate. But my plan was yesterday was when they come out with these files, they got the binders. When these conservative influencers that were there, and so they're pretty well known, when they start going through the binders, I was going to do a podcast and upload a podcast about it. But nothing. Hours went by, and then we started to get the true story, which I'm going to share. Liz Wheeler was the first to go, of these influencers that got the binder. She was the first to tell us what had happened. And I'm going to share with you, coming up after the break, what Liz Wheeler said. Okay? And I'll share with you, she made a short video at the airport in Washington, right after she left the White House, explaining everything. And in a lot of detail. I'm going to give you a capsulized version now, but when we get back, I'll get into the Liz Wheeler audio. What had happened is the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, who did make a mistake yesterday, which I'll gladly tell you, she ordered the FBI to turn over all of the Epstein files. They sent her about 200 pages. That's what she was talking about was on her desk. She knew that something was up with it because there was nothing new. Everything that they gave these conservative influencers yesterday in these binders were things that have already been known to the public. There was nothing new, no new names, nothing. And what had happened is the FBI and the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York didn't hand over the files that they were ordered to hand over to her. She immediately sent a letter to Kash Patel, who she could call on the phone, but she wanted to do it officially. She immediately sent a letter to Kash Patel telling him that the FBI is refusing her order as their boss, as the Attorney General. She has given a deadline, which is 8 a.m. today, for them to hand over the records. Kash Patel's come out about this. So what we have is a deep state FBI attempt to reestablish their power. You got to understand, this investigation was just launched into Comey. They're doing mass firings. So they're showing that they still have juice. What happened yesterday was a bit of a coup. Now, Pam Bondi, I believe, made a mistake yesterday. But, hindsight, and we'll see where she takes this. What I would have preferred her to do, because instead of just giving these people the binders and then having these hours of wonder, is for her to have had a press conference, and she could have had it with these influencers, a very angry press conference telling the American people live what just happened. The Southern District of New York and the FBI are stonewalling. They refused her direct order and say that I am sending federal marshals to the office right now to pick up the files. If you do not hand them over to you, they have been given orders to arrest you. That I would have liked her to have seen. And I'll say this about Pam Bondi. I am a huge fan and supporter of Pam Bondi. She was our Attorney General here in Florida. She's very good. However, she's new to the Washington Circle. She may not realize she's new to the Washington Circle, and she didn't handle it in a great way yesterday, so far as publicly. But behind the scenes, she's doing everything perfect. So we'll take our first break. When we get back, I'll share with you what Liz Wheeler shared about it. And also, if you'd like to call in, remember it is open phones today, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. Welcome. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Talking to Mike, the board up. Oh boy, no, this is, don't worry, this is going very much according to plan. Let me pull up Liz Wheeler. Okay, here's Liz. Okay, so okay, so less than a minute and we will be back. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're on hold, hang in there. No, you have her confused with that Canadian Asian influencer. 15 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Friday. Oh, man, so a lot has happened yesterday. Our number one, 888-465-2631. Let's take a call or two before I get to more. Oh, sorry about that. Hit the wrong line. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. Hi,
Yep.
How are you? It's Laura. Listen, I listened to you for the beginning. I agree with you. The thing that I don't understand, why they gave it to the influencers. They don't, and it was a public domain, all these names. They were laughing. They're thinking it's like a gift of Christmas. It's not serious at all. This is genius acts that these people do. It's a serious subject. It's a promise campaign, and they should. If they don't want to give it because of we can at least understand. But come and make a serious press conference, not give it to this conservative.
Yeah, I will agree with you that Pam Bondi giving it to the influencers like that without a press conference was a PR mistake. Okay, it was a PR mistake.
Exactly.
She should have had an angry. She should have had an angry press conference explaining to the American people that the FBI defied the Attorney General of the United States and everything else. Yes, giving it to the influencers like she did without a press conference was a PR mistake. And I'll tell you the reason that is. Pam Bondi's very good, but two things. She hasn't really been in the public eye for a long time. Okay, so she's a little rusty. And she's also a local girl here from Florida who's in the big city now. And she's playing in a different league than she's used to. And she made a mistake. It's not some indictment against her character. I see a lot of people saying terrible things about her. What she did was what she did yesterday was a
Brian, I cannot hear you.
Well, well, maybe that's a good thing. What she did yesterday, she hit mute on her phone. What she did yesterday was a mistake, kind of like Spicer's first press conference in the first term. Remember that he didn't do a good job there. It does. A lot of people are accusing her of things now. But that's just not the case. She just made a PR mistake the way she handled it. There's a lot of conservative influencers who were not there and didn't get the binder, like Mark Dice and others who were jealous and are creating all kinds of bizarre conspiracies because they're jealous. But I wouldn't read too much into it other than a PR mistake. So let me get to Liz Wheeler. Now, Liz Wheeler was one of the conservative influencers who got the binder. And she was the first one to go public with what happened. So this is Liz Wheeler. She did a live stream on X at the airport, right, holding the binder. And I would love to have been there when she went through the TSA screening, holding the Epstein files in her hand. But she explains what happened, and she gives us a lot of context. Okay, so this is Liz Wheeler. Okay, so that's the end of her. So what happened was the SDNY is the Southern District of New York. That's where the files are. They did not turn them over. They disobeyed a direct order from the Attorney General of the United States. She has given them until 8 a.m. this morning to do so, and I don't expect them to turn them over. There's a power struggle going on with these deep staters trying to hold on. They've been deposed, but they're trying to hold on to power. Okay, and that's what's going on here. And I will agree, as I said earlier, Pam Bondi PR wise made a mistake. Now, why give them to the conservative influencers is also the big discussion. The Trump administration is going around the so-called legacy media, and remember Marco Rubio did an interview with somebody that just does news just on X, Twitter, right? So they're purposely going to new media sources. But these guys yesterday, they look like clowns, including Liz Wheeler. But they, I think the story of what really happened is getting out there now. All right, let's take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, good morning. It's Angie from Colorado.
Hey.
Thanks for bringing all that stuff with the Epstein files, but I just wanted to call in quickly and let you know. I got a text from a friend of mine that always reads Revolver News, and in Revolver News, there's an article in that the conservatives are missing, and nobody is talking about.
What's it about?
It's very important. Election coming up in Wisconsin on April the 1st about the Supreme Court judge, and that George Soros is going to start staffing the courts again, and a lady by name Susan Crawford is running. She is pro-abortion, pro-immigrants, illegal aliens, pro all of that stuff. And I just wanted to let you know, maybe over the weekend or next week, you can check into that we get that word out. She cannot be elected. She is horrible. And Revolver News has all that information.
All right, I'll look into it. I appreciate the heads up. See, it is Friday, Open Mega Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. So that fits into that. All right, now when we get back from the bottom of the hour, I'm going to get into a little more detail about this and what's going on here and what has happened and what is happening and what the reactions are to this botched incident yesterday of PR, and take your calls as well. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years, can you believe it already, on the radio. We'll take our bottom-of-the-hour break and be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Okay. We'll be back in a few minutes, and I have more about what's going on here. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you follow. This is our bottom of the hour break on the radio. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, so stand by. 1 minute. We'll be back. Forty seconds. We'll be back in 30 seconds, guys. Stand by. This is our bottom of the hour radio break. Commercials, traffic, weather, all that stuff. If you're on hold, hang in there. 20 seconds. TGIF, man. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Friday, open phones, open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday show at 1-888-465-2631. I'll take a couple of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Doreen.
Hey, Doreen. What's up?
Brian, I've been following this for a long time now, and it just seems to me like what they should be doing is seizing the Southern District building. Why can't they do that?
What Pam Bondi is doing, and I think listen, Pam Bondi screwed up PR-wise. There's no question about that. She did not handle the release and what happened yesterday properly, publicly, in the media. However, what she's doing behind the scenes, she immediately, Kash Patel is one of her close personal friends and has been for many years. She could have picked up the cell phone and called him. She sent an official letter from the Attorney General to the Director of the FBI about this, gave them an 8 a.m. deadline. What Pam Bondi is doing is what you do legally, so that people can legally be brought to justice. And there's steps that she's going through to do that. That's why she sent a letter with the deadline. Kash Patel came out. He's ticked and released a statement too. She's doing this officially, legally, so they can bring people to justice.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know what his most recent post is, Kash, but I do know that he has said previously that he's actually seen the files, so he knows what.
I don't know that he's seen the files. I don't know about that. I don't know. I would not. No, I would not say that he's seen the files. No, the files that they're talking about, according to what was came out after that meeting yesterday with Pam Bondi and these conservatives. They said tapes, video, audio tapes, and all kinds of things. And those who, they are holding on to those. They've not shown them to Kash Patel or Pam Bondi. They disobeyed a direct order to do so yesterday. So no, Kash Patel has not seen them. No. And I know, and there's a lot of, there's a couple of things going on here. Okay? There's a little bit of the MAGA wars happening. There's a lot of conservative influencers who are jealous that they're not getting invited to the White House, okay? So they're jealous of the influencers who are, and so they're attacking them, Mark Dice and others, okay? But there's also a lot of fake MAGA out there that are accusing Pam Bondi of a cover-up. There's no cover-up here. She made a mistake PR-wise, but she's handling everything like a lawyer, set with documents and timelines.
Come out and address it in a way that, because to be honest with you, Brian, there's a lot of people that are. This is a pretty serious subject for a lot of us, American people out here.
But when you say serious subject, what do you mean specifically by that?
Well, whenever you deal with the kind of subjects that they're talking about with the Epstein files, it's just never okay when it comes to kids or anything, you know, that has to do with perversions like that. We don't want to see anybody we just don't want to see this anymore. You know,
well, I'm going to tell you something, okay? I'm going to tell you something. There's not going to be much of anything in these files when they finally get what they have, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. And I've talked about this so much over the last few years. The J. Edgar Hoover files that he used to blackmail everyone, it's always been a mystery. Yeah. What happened to the Hoover files? The mystery is simple. Yeah. When Hoover died, the FBI kept them, and they've been adding to them ever since. So when they got Epstein and they collected all of his stuff years ago, they put all the incriminating evidence, videotapes, audio tapes, photographs, whatever, are in those J. Edgar Hoover files that they use to compromise politicians and celebrities and industry leaders, famous rich people, okay? So I'm telling you, there's not much in these files. A lot has been made of them. That's why I've been telling you, don't get excited. There's what they did yesterday by not handing over what they have, which I don't think is going to have bombshells in it at all. I'm not saying there's not going to be new things, but there's not going to be some videotape of a former president with with a girl. It's just not going to happen. They have that stuff filed away with the Hoover files, wherever those are. You know, that Comey uses, and people like that to get politicians to do their bidding. So, you know, people have invested so much, and then when they're disappointed, they want to say, "Oh well, Pam Bondi's part of this conspiracy." No, I was listening to Redacted, which is an online show. You guys know Redacted, some of you do, and they said something yesterday that just blew my mind. I couldn't believe they said it. They were wondering why these influencers were picked, and they said, oh, well, these are pro-Israel influencers, and there's a lot of people believe that Epstein was a Mossad agent, and because he was working for Israel, maybe they gave them the pro-Israeli influence. No, people are reading too much into this. They really are. You're not going to get squat. There's going to be next to nothing. You're not going to get some tape of some billionaire from a tech company with underage kids or something. It's not going to happen. And you just got to wrap your mind around it.
What people are just looking for is the end of the corrupt. You know, I know it exists. We know it exists. Government officials get bribed, and that happens. But we just want the corruption to end. And in some sense, the Epstein files kind of, if there was more divulged about it, and if it led to...
There's never going to be. It's just like the JFK files. There's not going to be much in those either.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is just that we're kind of fed up with the corruption in the government.
Well,
and a lot of people are using the Epstein files as a possible or potential way to finally stop it, but it's not. It's worse even than that. It's steeped in the government. It's in the swamp. It's basically the swamp.
You know, the whole thing with Epstein. See, I don't. By the way, I was very disappointed in Redacted. I don't follow them or listen to them too much. I have a few times. I didn't realize they were anti-Semites over there with some vast Jewish conspiracy about Epstein. But I would say
I knew that.
I would not.
They do.
I would say that Epstein was a sicko pervert who had lots of money to further his perversions. And a lot of people that are like that like to have celebrities around them. And maybe later he became an agent for a government or our government, who knows? But I think it just started out as his weirdo perversions, okay? And maybe. you're not going to get. I'm telling you, those whatever incriminating things he had, the deep state have them, and they're not going to give them to Pam Bondi, and we're never going to see them.
Well, that
ever.
might be a good thing, because I don't think most of us could handle what's in them, to be honest.
No,
with you.
I think
But
they
hey,
should
Brian,
be
I'm
seen.
going to get off it.
All right, well, I appreciate the call. This, you guys, sometimes people have this standard that just is not going to be achieved. You got to be realistic about these things. And because you don't get what you wanted to get yesterday doesn't mean that Pam Bondi is working for the bad guys now. It's just she made a PR mistake yesterday in the way she handled it. I hope she corrects that today, because she gave the Southern District of New York until 8 a.m. Eastern Time today to produce the files. So if they do not, I hope she has a very angry press conference, sends the federal marshals, and arrests these people and seize it, whatever they have. Okay? But there's a power play going on. See, the deep state, which is really the FBI, has been running this government, this country, for all of our lives, guys. That's just the way it is. Hoover was running the country. They've been running the country all these decades. Okay? And what they did yesterday was to embarrass the Attorney General and the Trump administration. That's all. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joanne from Tamarack.
Hey.
Brian, the other night when Pam Bondi was on Jesse Waters, he asked her about the James Comey and the honeypot, and that she was opening an investigation into that. And she answered him. She said no, but she said it very strangely. Now, I don't know.
Because she's not doing the investigation. No. Kash Patel is, not her. He's under her. It's an agency under her, so she's directly not doing it. It's Kash Patel.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Take care. They're not privy to everything. Now, I want to tell you, it is Friday. Weekend's here. If you've got some aches and pains, if you're suffering, if you're hurting, go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays tomorrow. The laser wave pain treatment works on every type of pain. He's rid me of pain from injuries, arthritis. The first one was over 2.5 years ago in my knee that I'd been suffering from, 30 years I had pain in my knee. And Dr. Appleton treated me with a laser wave pain treatment. It was my right knee. And my knee not only is pain-free, but it's been pain-free ever since. Pain hasn't come back. No aches, nothing. My knee is perfect. Just like all the other times he's rid me of pain. The laser wave pain treatment works. It is amazing. He is a miracle worker. And every time I go see Dr. Appleton, I run into listeners over there, and they're just so happy getting... every time I go, I learn about new pains, because I run into a listener, and I always say, what are you getting done? And they'll tell me. It's like, I never heard of that before. It's absolutely amazing. Appointments are not necessary, as I said. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. With the laser wave pain treatment, there's no drugs, no shots, no injections, no downtime. Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself. It is 100% painless. You don't even feel it. There's no feeling at all with the laser, at all. And, of course, the best part is it works. So give Dr. Appleton a call, or just walk in today or tomorrow and say bye-bye to your pain. His number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Stand by. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back in 1 minute, guys. Oh boy, do you feel better now that we got some perspective on what happened yesterday? We got more to talk about too. Some other issues, but I want to finish up with this one. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. All right. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. Miami? No, we're on the air in Miami. Our radio station goes all the way through Miami into the Florida Keys. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on Open MAGA Mike Friday. Open phones. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Rich.
Hey, Richie.
I don't know whether I agree with you or I don't this morning because I got to tell you something. President Trump, I remember Millie going against President Trump, behind his back.
Yep.
And President Trump, the bottom line is you're talking about it's Pam Bondi made a mistake. This is a direct reflection on the President of the United States. It's not Pam Bondi. They're defying President Trump.
Correct.
And let me tell you, if they get away with this, if they don't deliver, you said you don't think they're going to turn these things over by 8 o'clock in the morning?
No.
At that point, it's up to the United States federal government, which is President Trump, who's the leader, to lock that place down and fire every one of them. I'm sorry to say, if you let them get away with it, President Trump will lose total respect all over the country.
Well, listen, what I want to see from Pam Bondi is handling this like a lawyer. And, with a legal trail, what I would like her to do is when they don't deliver or they give her some garbage that's BS, they may deliver something that's nothing, right? They may do that, another delivery of nothing like they did the first time. I would like to see a press conference like that chief of police in Los Angeles when OJ didn't show up to surrender. Remember that? Mr. Simpson is now a fugitive of justice. If you assist him, you are committing a crime. So I want to see her, if they don't deliver, I want to see her send federal marshals there, tell them on TV, do not leave your office. Federal marshals are on the way to arrest you and get the documents.
Exactly.
And
right.
if you are not there, you will be a fugitive. That's what I want to see, tell you the truth.
Well, that's the biggest thing that I want to see, too, because God forbid, if they get away with this, you're looking at insubordination, a complete lawlessness in the United States from the federal police.
Listen, what Pam Bondi made a PR-wise, it was a disaster. I mean, they look like
they would do that.
They look like clowns when they came out with those binders yesterday. They look like idiots.
But she didn't think they would do that. Let me tell you something. Listen. I don't think President Trump thought that they were going to pull this off by giving him empty binder. I think that this was meant to embarrass President Trump.
Absolutely.
He can't let this go. He cannot let this
No.
stand. This has to be dealt with this morning.
Let me tell you, President Truman fired General MacArthur because he disobeyed an order. Truman ordered MacArthur not to allow U.S. fighter jets to enter Chinese airspace, which is where they were launching attacks on it. And he defied the order and did it. And he fired General MacArthur. And General MacArthur one of the greatest generals America's ever had and worldwide famous at the time. So these no-names at the Southern District of New York, they got to go immediately. I agree with you. I don't care what cases are pending or not. They need to. This has got to be taken care of, and it's got to be very, very high profile, quick and high profile on
gotta
TV.
It's got to be quick because, like I said, if they do get away with this and if they hand them a bunch of nothing, like you think that there's not going to be anything.
Correct.
My anticipation is it better be all there.
Yeah, but it's not. And I'd like to see Kash Patel. Honestly, Kash Patel should be in New York right now with a team going to the office at 8 a.m. to get the documents. That's what they should do. All right, Rich, I appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Randy from South Mississippi.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, real quick, Brian. My personal opinion, I think Pam Bondi should have went there, got everything that they needed for this Epstein drop, then come and have a press conference and said, "Hey, I went and seized all the records. I went and seized everything for the Epstein dump." And I think she should have did it that way instead of giving everybody a heads up. That she should have went and got all that behind the scenes and then had a press conference.
Yeah, she made Pam Bondi. Appreciate the call. Pam Bondi made a mistake PR wise. There's no getting around it. I mean, come on. We saw. Now I want to tell you guys, the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. Have you not yet taken advantage of this? You guys should all have it. I have the doorbell. It will change your life. Okay, it's part of your security system. But think about it. No matter where you are, you're at the grocery store, you're at the mall, you're playing golf, you're on vacation in Europe. If there's movement at your door, you get a notification on your cell phone and you can see it. I love it. It's such a convenience. When I'm at home, I don't like people coming to my house unannounced. And when I get movement at my door and I look and I say, oh, you never have to answer the door again. You don't even have to get up to look out to see who's there. Okay? It's a great thing to have. So Sloman's, they're going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you a home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for the doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call. Easy number to remember, 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything you want on Friday's show. Not what I'm bringing up, but I want to play this last clip involving this. The FBI, as I say, they've been the secret government all our lives, and this is Tucker. And I'm glad I've been talking about this for years, and I'm so glad Tucker is finally talking about this, about how the secret government of the FBI operate, and in particular, he's talking about what happened with the FBI and President Nixon. Yeah.
one was a CIA employee. That's real. Like, look it up on Google. So the whole thing, Richard Nixon was elected by more votes than any president in American history in the 1972 election. He was the most popular by votes, which is the only way to measure popularity, the most popular president in his re-election campaign. And 2 years later, he's gone. Undone by a naval intel officer, number 2 guy at the FBI, and a bunch of CIA employees.
Okay, so that's what they've been running against Trump. And Nixon, when Hoover died, put his own political appointee in charge of the FBI. And still they were able to do that. And they're attempting, they've been doing this to President Trump for years, and they're continuing to do it now, even with Kash Patel. That's why this happened yesterday. Now, Kash Patel said yesterday, after all this nonsense happened with the Epstein file, says there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. This is Kash Patel. And anyone from the prior or current Bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. If there are gaps, we will find them. So they're both on the job, but you got to understand what they're up against. The deep state, they're still there. They're still there. They feel like a deposed government that's been conquered, and they're fighting back. What happened yesterday with Pam Bondi was an insurrection against the Trump administration. That's what happened yesterday. It's big what happened yesterday. And those of you out there that are attacking Pam Bondi, just take a breath. And, we have this TikTok level attention span in this country today. We have very short attention span. People want immediate satisfaction. And it's not easy to do that with things like this that are so big and so deep. But don't worry, they're on it. They will take care of it. And Bongino, when is he reporting for duty here? I know is he finishing out his show this week? Probably waiting for security checks. But yeah, we need Bongino. I would love to see Bongino at the Southern District of New York offices today taking care of this. And when he's on the job, I expect to see that. But man, these are some difficult times. Now, I got a message to our cruisers. The countdown to the cruise, we're just over a month away. We're leaving March 30th. Aren't you guys excited? I'm so excited. Oh, man. Well, we are a month away. We're a month away from the cruise. I talked to Ian. One of the shore excursions I know of is completely booked, and the other 2 are almost booked. So you do not want to miss out on these shore excursions. I'm not even going to give Ian's number out because, unfortunately, our cruise has been sold out for months now. There's no cabins available, but those of you that have not yet booked our shore excursions, we have 1 excursion in each port. I go on all the excursions with you. They are, without question, the memory-making moments of our cruise or our excursions, and I don't want anybody to be left out. So call Ian and make sure you're booked on the excursions. I was shocked that they're filling up already. I don't know if the second one's filled up yet or not, but I know it's close. There's 1 maybe spot left or so, and the third one is filling up quick. So I don't have to give out the number because you guys are already going on the cruise and you know Ian's number. Call him. Make sure you're on the excursions. And I'm really looking forward to the cruise. I need the week vacation. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to party like it's 1999, aren't we? Absolutely. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number, 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we'll be back in 20 seconds. Stand by. Stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. Show's flying by. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. It is Friday. Open phones, open MAGA mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up. And the number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I've got a bunch more to get into, but I'll take some of your calls first. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, first thing I'd like to mention quick is a lot of people are starting to talk about, at least in my circle, DeSantis' wish to end real estate taxes in Florida. You know, I think it's next to impossible, but it certainly would be unbelievable if he could do something like that.
Well,
I would just give him
Ron DeSantis is running for president, and he's when you hear me talk when Joe Thomas is in studio, I talk to him a lot about this. If you want to be successful at something, find someone who has been successful at what you want to be successful at, and just basically model yourself after them, copy them, right? That's Tony Robbins' whole thing. And he started a Florida Doge, and now this is his equivalent of no tax on tips. And you know, Florida property taxes, I don't even like to know what my property taxes are. And I looked the other day, and it was a big mistake. And because I remember what they were when I moved into this house. And a lot of people in Florida, they spend their whole life paying off their house. They want to have a mortgage-free home, and they're shocked at how little money they're saving because the incredibly high homeowners insurance and the property taxes, right, are through the roof. So I don't know how we would pay for everything if there was no property taxes, because we have no state income tax. But I don't care. I would like to have no property tax. I like that.
Oh man, that would be great. And you know what? One of the worst things about the property taxes, they increase your taxes, your value of your house every year, right? And now the insurance company now says, well, wait a minute, you bought your house at, let's say, $700,000, and now it's worth $1 million. Therefore, we have to raise your premium, because if your house burns down, we got to pay.
I like the idea, but it's not going to happen, and he knows it's not going to happen. What DeSantis is doing. I don't know who his advisors are. But by the way, thanks for the call. I'll finish with this without you there. But what DeSantis is doing, he's got some advisors that are telling him how to trend. So this property tax thing got everyone talking about him in Florida news, And then the Andrew Tate and his brother flew into Fort Lauderdale yesterday, and he was talking about that. So there's clips of Ron DeSantis on all the news of the world talking about Andrew Tate yesterday. So what he's doing, he might as well call him the hashtag presidential candidate. He's doing all these things to get everybody to talk about him in the media and in social media. And whoever's advising him is advising him well because it's working for him. But you can't trust Ron DeSantis. He lied to President Trump, and he lied to all of us MAGA voters here in Florida. And I'm not going to forget that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. Question is, why not release the files to Anna Luna? She met with her that morning, Anna, Kash, and Pam. They met. You would think she would release the files to her. According to Marsha Blackburn, there are names, there is information out there that has not been released to the public.
Well, I'll tell you why, but why? You mean just nobody else, just Anna Luna? What's your obsession with her, other than you think she's hot?
Why not Laura Loomer and Candace Owens?
Listen, Laura is a friend of mine. She's on the outs with the Trump administration. Okay, she's on the outs, and she's probably never going to be back in, unless something happens.
Unfortunate.
Well, she made there was a mistake made. And, and she's on the outs. It's obvious, okay? But so far as releasing them, I don't know. I'd be happy to give them to Luna. That's fine with me. I mean, but, there's the one thing you got to understand. There's a lot of conservative influencers who are jealous that they're not getting the files or they're not being invited to the White House to these meetings, okay? So they lash out and start to criticize because these other people got in and they didn't. I was surprised to see Cernovich there. That caught me off guard. And so there's a lot of criticism of these particular people they gave the files to because they're jealous that they're not in there. And you don't hear me whining. I wasn't invited to get the Epstein files yesterday. I'm glad I wasn't because they looked like clowns when they came out with the binders. But, these people are just jealous that are, that's it. There's no conspiracy with Bondi. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm familiar with Pam Bondi. I have a home in Florida as well. I think she did a great job. I think she's doing a great job now. I do think that was a misstep, and
it was a minor blip. She is new to the level that she is at. And she made a bad chess move, and she, they got her yesterday. Okay, PR-wise, what she did was wrong. She should have had a press conference. She should have released it to everybody at the press conference, and should have been furious that the FBI in the Southern District of New York refused her order and didn't give her the files. But she didn't. It was a PR mistake. There's nothing to write in, And why not Loomer? Why not Mark Dice? Why not Anna Paul and Luna? I mean, it would have been the same thing no matter who she gave it to yesterday.
Okay. Well, you take good care.
All right, take care. People are trying to find conspiracy where there is none. It was just a PR mistake on her behalf yesterday. That's it. And she'll correct it. You got to be patient. One of the things you got to understand when it involves Kash Patel is surrounded by the old guard still. He hasn't had time to bring in his people yet. Okay? So the bureaucracy of this government in many ways is still being run by the same people that were running it under Biden. You got to give them a little bit of time to get in place and get their people in. That's it. And hopefully Kash Patel will get on that right away. I can't wait for Dan Bongino to be on the job, but you guys got to be a little more patient. There's a lot that's got to be done. There's no getting around it. All right, now a couple of things though I want to mention. Speaking of cabinet members on the job, Pete Hegseth yesterday was asked, and he would not rule out U.S. military strikes on the fentanyl labs in Mexico. what we have, what we have in the second Trump administration is a dream cabinet, guys. We've got a dream cabinet of disruptors. Look at what's happening. Hegseth, they got these illegals, these criminals, and Gitmo. Who would have thought? And I'll tell you an interesting thing about that is where I was talking about this a week or so ago, and still it hasn't happened. Where are these ACLU types about these hardcore criminal illegals that they've sent to Gitmo? I haven't heard any of these people. The Eric Holder types. I'm in shock that they're not griping about it. Pete Hegseth, he told Laura Ingraham that one of the illegals that they're holding in Gitmo, it's a staging ground. A lot of them are being sent back to their native country. One of them wouldn't sign the document to be sent back home to his country because he likes it so much where they're at Gitmo. They got a good life going on there. It seems like a pretty good deal for a lot of them. But what Pete Hegseth has done as an example is bigger than anything that has ever been done before. The illegal border crossings have almost gone down to zero, right? And the deportations are going on. The Gitmo they're filling up the Gitmo detention center with them, the ones that are the hardcore criminals. The things that are going on in this administration are at a level that things have never gone on in our government before. The swamp draining. I was reading a story this morning that the USAID workers that are being fired are being given 15 minutes to clear out their desks and get out. The ones that were actually working at desks, because a lot of them are probably working from home, which is a problem because they have, a lot of these federal workers working from home have computer access to the federal government, and I don't know how easy it's going to be to cut all of them out. But they're thieves that were involved in criminal activities. RICO financial crimes. Yeah, they're lucky they get 15 minutes. They're lucky they can clean out their desks. They should probably have to leave everything behind. So people getting hung up on what happened yesterday, I don't think you're looking at the big picture. And there's a lot of these petty jealousies of some of the conservative MAGA influencers who feel cut out of what's going on. And they have influence. I see them influencing people. I saw someone yesterday that I respect saying things about Pam Bondi, and they tore down Epstein's mansion in Palm Beach, and they destroyed evidence when they did it. There's all, that I was talking earlier about Redacted saying, well, these are pro-Israel influencers, and maybe because Epstein was Mossad, they're doing this. There's no conspiracy. The Trump administration is doing everything they've promised. You just got to be patient. All right, we're going to take our first break of the second hour. Oh my goodness, we're almost halfway through the show today. What is going on? Today's show is flying by. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. All right, stand by. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. I came across this morning. My apologies in advance. This is Mike Pence. Mike Pence is a sicko. He is a sicko. He gave an interview yesterday. Listen to what he said. This is Mike Pence. Good. Look at this guy. Jerk. Oh my goodness, this guy, how pathetic. You know, start up some foundation with Kamala Harris, a foundation of losers and traitors. Oh my goodness. Do you think he and his wife sit and actually pray for J.D. Vance and his wife? Do you believe he's actually doing that? I don't think so. Now, you know, a little follow-up on Gene Hackman. Yesterday, my wife and I, we wanted to watch French Connection over the weekend because everyone was talking about French. I saw the French Connection when I was young, and I didn't think too much of it, but I've not seen it as an adult. So I have every streaming app pretty much, and it wasn't available. So it was available to purchase, and it was like $4. And I don't buy too many movies, but I told my wife, I said, buy it. Because by the weekend, it may be $24, the French Connection. Because they might up the price of the Gene Hackman movies. So I'm going to watch the French Connection over the weekend. And I hope I like it. And if I like it, I'll watch the French Connection too. Okay, this thing about Gene Hackman, what's coming out about Gene Hackman is insane. That he and his wife were found partially mummified. And of course, when the story first came out, we all assumed it was carbon monoxide, a gas stove was left on or something. But that's the kind of thing that happens when you are in bed at night or you fall asleep on the couch. They were in two different parts of the house. The wife was in the bathroom, and they say there were pills everywhere. So I guess she was taking her medicines and she kind of collapsed with her pills. And Gene Hackman, they said the mudroom, which I guess the mudroom, we don't have those in Florida. I guess the mudroom is the first room you walk into when you come from the outside, and the door was open. And two of the dogs were alive and wandering around the property. The other one was dead next to the wife. And so they were in different parts of the house. He had looked as if he had just walked in the door or maybe was going to walk out of the door. I don't know. By the way, I have seen The French Connection, but I was a kid. I've not seen it as an adult, so I'm going to watch it this weekend. And maybe I'll watch Superman the movie, too, if I have time. That's a long one, though. That's two long movies. I'm sure The French Connection's a long movie. And now they're talking about possible foul play. And this thing about the partial mummification, it's crazy to me that they've been dead for 2 weeks. And I found out in one article, at least it was reported yesterday, that Gene Hackman's net worth, $80 million. I was shocked at how much he was worth, $80 million. The mother is the stepmother. His daughter said that last time she talked to him, he was in great health, but she hadn't talked to him in a couple of months. I bet she's made some inquiries, though, about that $80 million already yesterday. So this is a very strange thing. And I'm very surprised that someone as elderly and as wealthy as Gene Hackman, that it took 2 weeks for someone to find them. They don't have a cleaning lady. I'm sure they don't do the yard work. I cannot believe that it took 2 weeks for someone to find them. It's really sad, isn't it? It really is sad. Someone who is such a big actor. And what happened on the show yesterday, I think I said this towards the end of yesterday's show. Celebrities die all the time, and it's not the normal thing we talk about on this program. I have never, in any recollection I have of a celebrity death, getting calls for a celebrity like we did yesterday with Gene Hackman. I don't know if Gene Hackman realized what a beloved actor he was in this country. I've never seen something like that before. That happened on this program yesterday. Steve didn't appreciate it too much. I get that. But now we got this new thing that dead for 2 weeks. That's sad. I mean, how long could you be dead before someone would come looking for you? Hopefully it wouldn't be 2 weeks. Yeah, it is sad, isn't it? Remember that happened to Dr. Laura and her mother. It was a similar thing with her. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian, brother, Brian, IB, and Broward.
Hey, speak up, IB.
Okay, is that okay?
That's good.
Talk louder. Yeah, I was going to recommend when you hung up the phone with me the other day, I didn't get to say that you should watch with Kathy, The French Connection, because I love car chase scenes, and it has one of the top 7 or 10 best car chase scenes in movie history. So
I'll find out.
That alone is exciting enough to watch it, and I think you will enjoy it more as an adult anyway. The other thing is with what we have going on with maybe less than 0.000 amount of people controlling the rest of us Americans. Now that they've uncovered themselves, what are we going to do about it? The thing is, what we don't understand is that we are in a civil war without a gun. Okay, we're in a civil war but without a gun, and the few right now is ruling the many.
Well, what happened? You're talking about. I got a bad connection, but so you're talking about what happened with Pam Bondi yesterday with these files.
Yes, the people who are not turning them over is defying the law. Now keep in mind how much times in the last year they said no one is above the law and Constitution. How many times have they uttered that in everyone's ear? And now to see that they are not doing it, this can only tell you, the average guy, the average Democrat, the average liberal, the average person in this country, that they are supposedly the rulers. But no, we elected the rulers.
All right, I appreciate the call, IB. You know, as I said, this is an insurrection that's going on. The Southern District of New York and the FBI are involved in an insurrection right now with this Epstein thing. Now, I just want to finish up, though, on the Gene Hackman thing before I forget. It is open phone, so you guys don't have to talk about anything I bring up. The show prep is up to you guys today. I was unclear about the dog, all right? And this was, and I read a few articles about this, and I haven't gotten really a clear answer about the dead dog of Gene Hackman's. Was the dog dead lying next to the wife, or was the dog locked in the closet? Does anyone know? Was the dog locked in the closet? Let me know. Many years ago, my mother's house was broken into when she wasn't home. And these kids, they broke in and they had a party. They had a party at the house during the day when they should have been in school. And thankfully, they didn't hurt the dog, but they locked the dog in a room. The dog was locked in one of the bedrooms, thankfully, because I love that dog. She's long since passed, but she was a great dog, and luckily they didn't steal the dog or hurt the dog. But I was a little unclear on what happened with the dog. Did the dog die in the closet, locked in the closet? Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out from these stories with Gene Hackman, because if that's the case, that's when I would get into some foul play, that there was a burglar, a break-in, a robbery, something like that. And he had a pretty big patch of land that was a little, he lived kind of, even though it was in this gated community, he had a big patch of land, so it wasn't like some zero lot line. So, there's distance from the next house. I think he had 2 homes on that property of his own. So I was trying, and I've read several articles about this, and I heard about the dog in the closet, but was the dog locked in the closet is what I was trying to find out. If anybody knows, let me know. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And I'm also, I just find it hard to believe that somebody at that level doesn't have someone that comes into the house to clean the house and take care of things. I don't believe his wife in her 60s, who's worth $80 million with her husband, does the house cleaning. So it looks like foul play, but if the dog was locked in the closet and the dog died from that, that would tell you right there. Break-in, robbery, something like that. All right, and the door was unlocked. So he'd either just come in or was trying to get out, or somebody had come in. So there definitely looks like foul play in Gene Hackman's death today. Okay, if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Be back in just over 1 minute. One minute from now. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bob from Kentucky. As a YouTuber, a big rig truck driver, I'm just requesting that you put out the audio, like on Tucker. When you played that, I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, you could hear it. You could hear it if you listen in the right place.
When they're talking, I can't hear it.
Well, I can't help you with your hearing. All right. Okay. Do you have anything of content other than the griping?
No.
Okay, then no. Okay. Thank you very much for your call. Although not really. If you're on hold, stand by. There's a few other things I want to get to. There's some big news happening today, and that's Trump and Zelensky are getting together. So we are at the beginning of the end of a war, and this is a good thing. Okay, so while a lot of people are getting sidetracked on Pam Bondi's PR blunder yesterday, President Trump is about to end another war started by the Europeans. And I've got Zelensky's schedule. This is going to be a big day, and I appreciate that the president has started this. And when I say the president, I mean President Trump. I'm not talking about Zelensky. I like how they asked President Trump yesterday if Zelensky's still a dictator. He said, "Did I say that?" Because he's got the meeting today. But Zelensky is in the United States. His schedule will start by meeting with senators. Then at around 11 a.m. this morning, Zelensky is going to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office. Then there'll be some statements to the media that he'll make, Zelensky, before the meeting. Then Zelensky is expected to sign the mineral agreement. Isn't that something? Yeah. To pay us back for everything we've done, which is what President Trump wanted. And then, this is the official schedule from Zelensky. A statement by both presidents for the media and a joint press conference are planned for, for 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And then Zelensky's moving on to some other things. He's going to meet people from the Ukrainian community. And then he's going to do a Fox News interview. And, there's been sadly, a lot of wars during our lifetimes, right? I mean, how many? Have you ever seen people so upset in this country at the ending of a war? When presidents end wars, there's usually a celebration. The left have a long history of being anti-war. Now, all of a sudden, not only are they openly pro-war, they're upset that a war is going to end, and they're not ashamed to tell you about it. They're not embarrassed. I've never seen something like this. And, the war isn't over today, but this is some major steps in that happening. We all know why it's, the people that are upset that the war is ending are the same people that are upset that USAID was exposed. We get it, right? It's all a big money grab. But people are dying. President Trump says that there are parts of Ukraine, the other cities outside Kiev, they look like Gaza. Some even worse, he said, which I don't even know how that's possible. I guess there's no buildings left standing. And President Trump, not only in his first term did he's the first president since the end of the Second World War to not start a new conflict, a new war. He's ending another war, and he's ending it the right way. He should get the Nobel Peace Prize for what he's about to do with Zelensky. And that British Prime Minister that was in the Oval Office yesterday that's been trashing Trump forever, I loved it when President Trump, he's upset that the war's ending. He's a lunatic, And President Trump said to him, could you defeat Russia on your own? And everybody in the room laughed at the British Prime Minister, right? I mean, what a joke. What a joke. He gave the invite for the president to go meet King Charles. King Charles having Ramadan dinner yesterday, I saw online. My goodness. You know, England has completely fallen. Europe has fallen. I was reading some of the European news this morning because of this Zelensky visit. I want to see what's going on. And they're flying in by the thousands into Germany, Afghans. And I saw the video of this from the local news in Germany. They're all young military-age men. What are they doing? What has happened to Europe? Europe is done. We just need to write Europe off. Have nothing to do with it. Get out of NATO. You know, all they do over there in Europe is cause problems. They're about, you know, they caused this war. They're upset that the war is ending. Not only is the war in Ukraine with Russia ending, President Trump is about today to get everything he wanted. Zelensky is scheduled to sign that mineral deal that President Trump wanted to pay us back for all the money we gave him. That's why he's not calling him a dictator anymore. He's doing what Trump wants him to do, and he wants his signature to be valid on the mineral deal. So it's going to happen. The guy's hardly been in office, and look at what he's done. You know, everything he's done, the firings, he got every one of his cabinet people have gotten in. And what are they talking about? They're talking about the price of eggs. Are you kidding me? You know, I saw a guy who's in the egg buying business, and this was a few days ago, and he said that this time of year, every year, egg prices go up with the bird flu. He's not sure why, but he says he's been in the egg business for many, many years. It all goes up, and they're grabbing onto this egg thing. Now, I've gone to some of the grocery stores. Surprisingly, some of the grocery stores are out of eggs almost entirely. And the egg shortage, it's a lot like the toilet paper shortage that we had in 2020. If you remember, some people made a couple of videos online that went viral about toilet paper shortages as the shutdowns were about to happen. And everyone ran out to the store and bought up all the toilet paper. And we found out, I did not know this, that there are only a couple factories that make all the toilet paper, no matter the brands and the different types and you know what I mean? The stuff that's like sandpaper or the really soft stuff. And they just it overwhelmed the supply chain because people were hoarding it. In this instance with the eggs, we got the bird flu. They had to euthanize hundreds of thousands of egg-laying chickens. And it's surprising. I don't really pay attention to eggs in the grocery store too much. And I've taken a little bit more notice than I would normally. And I mean, I've seen it, but I never paid much attention. Like the toilet paper, how many different brands of eggs are there? My goodness. So hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of egg-laying chickens had to be euthanized for the bird flu. People are hoarding eggs because they're afraid that they won't be able to get them. And there's so many different brands of eggs that the egg producers can't keep up. And that's why there's so many empty shelves. And with President Trump through Doge has found billions of dollars in waste, right? Tens of millions of people collecting money from the government through different things that shouldn't be collecting it, Social Security, Doge, probably federal workers. He's got every one of his cabinet picks picked. He's got the border locked down where the illegal crossings are almost zero right now. He's got the Canadians patrolling their southern border, appointing a drug czar. He's responsible for regime change in Canada. He's got the Mexicans at our southern border, their northern border, stopping people coming here from illegally. He's got the immigration service rounding up the violent illegals in this country, shipping them to Gitmo by the thousands. He's about to end a war, sign an agreement today with Zelensky paying us back all the money we gave them through the mineral rights to Ukraine. And these people are sitting around whining about the price of eggs like they got something on him, which has nothing to do with him, and it's insane what's going on here. You know, and there's more too. I mean, that's an incomplete list of great things that President Trump has done here, ending wars, you know, shutting down the illegal invasion of the United States, all this stuff. It's amazing what he's done. Got their budget passed. Soon the legislation will be introduced, the no taxes on tips and Social Security, that's on deck. Right? I mean, it's amazing. And they're talking about eggs. These people griping about eggs, do they even buy eggs when in any time? All of a sudden, every liberal wants to buy eggs. There's another big story about eggs today, is why I bring this up out of Walmart. It's in all the mainstream legacy media. And I mean, come on. Trump derangement syndrome, these people aren't thinking clearly. If that's the best they got, Trump's doing great. And he really should indeed get the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, Jupiter Joe Thomas was in studio with me yesterday, and he shared something that was just spectacular. This 10% bonus you get on your money on day one with your annuity. So if you put $50,000 into an annuity, they immediately give you $5,000. You've already made $5,000 off your money. Isn't that amazing? And you get a bonus every year. That was a pretty good percentage of your money too. I can't remember the exact amount, so I'm not going to say. But Joe Thomas will tell you when you call. And you know, with annuities, there's no risk from stock market losses. No matter what happens in the stock market, if there's a depression, your money is safe. You're guaranteed income for the rest of your life. This is a no-risk retirement plan where on day one, you can make 10%. Isn't that something? It's absolutely amazing. Turn your money into guaranteed income for the rest of your life. Call Jupiter Joe Thomas. He's offering free phone consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are located in the United States. Here's his number. 561-743-0999. When you call, he'll ask you some questions, and he'll put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation, your goals, your needs, everything. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, go to his website. It's easy to remember, and his number's right there. JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com. All right, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Hey, it's Brian. Hey there. All right, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll be with you in about a minute. Hold on. $20 seconds. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, hang in there. I do have to recap what happened with Pam Bondi. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, how you doing today?
I'm good, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How'd your workshop go yesterday in Palm Beach?
It went well. It was our first one in West Palm Beach, and it went very well.
Awesome.
And, so we're looking forward to doing another one. I think we're already scheduled to do another one on March 27th in the afternoon at 2 p.m. in West Palm Beach.
Oh, awesome.
So we're excited about that. Yeah.
And anyway, today I wanted to talk about it kind of as a follow-up to our conversation yesterday, because you were bringing it up about the Medicaid, and just the importance of it, because of course the first thing is, as soon as people hear Medicaid, they think that it's for people who are impoverished, people who have very low income, very low assets, and yes, that's what it's designed for. But really, it's an important second chance, a second opportunity for people who don't have long-term care insurance to make sure that they have a way to pay for it other than spending down their assets. You work your whole life, you do everything right, you save, and then you or your wife or husband get sick, and now all of a sudden we need to pay for care, and that care is so expensive it could make you broke. And so Medicaid is something that even if you're above the limits in income and assets, you could still qualify. Not everybody, but most people can. And the thing is, for a lot of people, we need to plan ahead just to make sure that we're in a position where we can qualify. So just doing a little bit of planning now can save a lot in the future. And that's what Medicaid planning is. It's really asset protection for people in their retirement years to protect from the biggest threat we have as we age, the cost of long-term care. About 50% of us are going to need some form of long-term care. And the question is, how are we going to pay for it? If we don't have long-term care insurance, and if we don't want to spend down our assets, then you better call us.
Yeah, that's right. And, one thing I learned about long-term care insurance, which I did not know, I thought long-term care insurance was for as long as you need it, but there's caps on it. And a lot of times people think, oh, I'm set. I've got long-term care insurance, but it very well may not last the rest of your life, and you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, if your policies are either for a set dollar amount or a number of years, it could run out, and you could still need care beyond what the policy's covered. So now you're at square one again at the spend down mode when you could have qualified for Medicaid.
Yeah, and one of the biggest takeaways I got from your workshop the other day in Boca, and I was amazed, almost everyone qualifies for this Medicaid planning, which covers nursing home care as well as at-home care. So give the Siegel Law Group a call, and remember, it's a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program. Here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
All right, have a great weekend. Thanks.
All right, take care. All right, we're back, and one of the things, I tell you, there's so much corruption that's been going on in this country. The Trump cabinet, which some of them just got on the job, they got a lot to handle. After the top of the hour, I'm going to recap what happened with Pam Bondi yesterday, because it's a big story. I opened at 6 with it, but for those of you that weren't listening in the 6 o'clock hour, it's very important. I want to cover it again. But now we're starting to get more information about Crooks, who's the Butler Trump assassin. Now it's being reported by the New York Post that he may have had an accomplice, and New York Post is reporting that the FBI has been stonewalling, and even goes on to say they've been ignoring obvious evidence of accomplices. And this is really astounding that this is coming out so soon. This is in the Gateway Pundit. The New York Post is publishing what their reporter Dana Kennedy is calling an exclusive, but they're saying it's not. Citing, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but here's the thing. Most every single American that follows news and politics believes that the same people that killed Kennedy were behind the Trump assassination. And because that graph was on the other side of the stage and he turned his head in opposite direction, plans did not go as they had planned. And what their plan is for that day to turn out differently and give Nikki Haley the nomination. And probably Ron DeSantis would have been a running mate. And then they tried it again at the golf course. And, we have 2 attempts on President Trump's life, one of which he was shot, and we know really nothing. We don't know much more today than we knew the day of, right? And there has been a cover-up in stonewalling, and even though President Trump got each one of his nominees, Matt Gaetz was not an official nominee, didn't go through the process, even though President Trump got every one of his cabinet nominees through, which I predicted, I'm very happy about, they took their time with Kash Patel. And the reason they took their time with Kash Patel is because they had to move around and destroy evidence of the assassinations, as well as what has been going on with the Epstein files that we were talking about earlier. There's obviously a major cover-up going on here. And Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they are really up to their eyeballs in some of the darkest things that this government can be involved in. I mean, is there anyone out there who thinks that these two Trump assassins were just lone gunmen who did this on their own? No one believes that, especially when you look at where they were. Both of these guys, because I did my own investigation where I made a documentary on the Palm Beach golf course assassin, which I've told you guys about it. You know, the thing about the Palm Beach assassin, no one has done what I've done. And I'm not doing this to toot my own horn or to promote my video on it, which I would like you to watch. But no one has gone to where the assassin was. He was out in the open. They want you to think he was in these hedges. Those hedges, you can see right through them. He was out in the open. Crooks and Butler, out in the open on the roof in front of thousands of people. Believe me, there's no way that these two incidents are just lone gunmen that decided to do this on their own. There's connections between the two of them. They're out in the open, and in the instance with the Palm Beach assassin, the Secret Service officer fired at him 5 times and missed. The building that Crooks was on in Butler was filled with police, and it was a short building. It's beyond the realm of believability that these two guys just did this on their own. There's just no way. And, you see everything that they've done against Trump. There was a lot of desperation because they saw how popular he was. They knew long ago he was going to win. It was, you could tell. Over the summer we knew he was going to win, right? With confidence. With confidence. These candidates they had up against him were a joke. And Biden, please. And Kamala, jokes. And you see what's going on right now. This investigation that came out about Comey, what's going on with Pam Bondi and the FBI and the Southern District of New York over the Epstein files. The powers that be are in a panic right now, shutting down this war. There's a lot of pressure on them, exposing USID and cutting that money off. All these things that President Trump has done are huge, big moves. And not only big moves, things that they're not going to be able to reverse because they've been exposed now. And somebody had called earlier and they said, well, why did they give this stuff to these conservative? President Trump and the Trump administration are bypassing, for most everything, the traditional media and bringing to prominence the new media that report the truth. That's why that thing happened yesterday with the Epstein binder, okay? But you see them doing this with everything. Every government agency, the new secretaries have been talking to the new media, not doing these traditional interviews. An occasional Fox News interview, but for the most part, they've been doing new media interviews to bring them to prominence. They want them to be where people go to for their news. And I support that because I am a part of that myself. Okay? So this crook story that's out there today, a lot of people are going to say, we knew this. We have our people in charge now, but we don't have all of their support in place. And it's going to take a few more weeks and maybe even a few more months for people like Kash Patel to get his people in place. Pam Bondi to get her people in place. Pete Hegseth has the easier job because that's the military. They've gotten rid of some of the woke generals and admirals, but those people follow orders. So he can just issue orders. The people that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are dealing with, they don't follow orders except from each other. They don't take orders from others. They think they're above that. Now, I'm here to tell you that I'm about 1.5 pounds away from my weight loss goal from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. When I met with Dr. Zuckerman over there, I met with him on Inauguration Day. I went over there and had my meeting with him on Inauguration Day, and I went from meeting Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret to Wings Plus for our party that day. And I told him, I said, we got our cruise coming up on March 30th. I want to lose 25 pounds. And I'm like, about a pound and a half away from that. He said, that's no problem, bro. It's the 28th. So I'm gonna hit that weight loss goal the first couple days of March, almost a month early from what my goal. Isn't that amazing? And I've been telling you guys, not only do I've lost all this weight, but I feel great. I'm not taking any medications. People keep asking me, am I taking Ozempic? No, I'm taking no medication. I've lost all this weight. I'm doing zero exercise. I'm not doing any steps, nothing, zero exercise. I'm not walking around the block, nothing. And I've shed all this weight. And I don't know if I'm going to stick with the 25 or if I'm going to go for 30 or 35. I don't know. It's so easy. And you know, the other thing is I'm not hungry. I thought I would be starving all the time, and I'm not. So give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. The couple things that have surprised me about this process is I'm not starving. You know, if you guys listen for a long time on the air, how many times have you heard me on the air say, I'm starving, I can't wait to get off the air? Because I never eat before I go on the air. And because when I eat before I go on the air, it kind of makes me a little tired. So by the time I get off the air at 9, I'm ready to eat my arms some days. And since I started with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I haven't had that happen. And when the show's over, I'm not hungry. I'm not rushing out to eat. And I've lost all this weight, and I feel great. That's the one thing that shocked me. Others, how much I lost so quickly, but also how much energy I have. I was not expecting that. I just thought I'd look a little bit better. I was not expecting to have all this energy. Wow, it's amazing. So give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. Coastal Weight Loss Secret can be reached online at coastalweightlossecret.com, coastalweightlossecret.com, or call 561 247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. Again, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. Oh, man, yeah. You can feel as great as I do. Okay, so that's 2 hours down. If you're on hold, hang in there. It is open phones today. On Fridays, it's open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You are not limited to the topics that we bring up. The show prep is up to you, although I got a bunch more that I have not gotten to yet that I'm going to start to cover in the next hour as well, and take your calls. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. I am going to recap the events of Pam Bondi yesterday in the next hour because that's a pretty big story, and she's getting a lot of heat. And the deadline is just a few seconds from now that she gave the Southern District of New York, so which I don't think they're going to meet. I think they're going to continue to place a game. So we're going to talk about that and recap that a little bit after the top and take your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Okay, so we're a couple minutes after the top of the hour now, which is a very significant time because Pam Bondi put out a deadline yesterday. So I want to recap what I started with at the top of the hour at 6, especially now since we just hit this deadline. And I was checking the latest updates in the news during the break, and it doesn't look like, at least it hasn't been announced, that the Attorney General's deadline has been met. Okay, yesterday there was a lot of anticipation for the Epstein files. And I was waiting all day for them. You know, the Epstein files is a campaign promise of President Trump's. And it came out really early in the day that Pam Bondi had the 200 pages. Remember, she was on Jesse Waters the night before last and said that they had to spend time going through them to redact the names of the victims, which I get that. And then these conservative influencers, some of them are pretty famous. Mike Cernovich, Liz Wheeler, DC Drano, Libs of TikTok, and a few others. And some of them I know personally, some of these people. And they came out of the White House with these binders that said Epstein Files Phase 1. And there was a lot of excitement. I was very excited. And then a few minutes go by and nothing. Nothing. And all of these influencers are, especially Jack Posobiec, DC Drano, and Libs of TikTok, the three of them are on Twitter nonstop, 24 hours a day, always trying to break news. So I'm looking at those three in particular, Libs of TikTok, DC Drano, and Jack Posobiec on Twitter, and I'm waiting for them to share what's in this binder that Pam Bondi just gave them. And it was nothing. If you're on hold, stand by, guys. I'll get to the calls in a couple of minutes. It's a big, important day we're having here. And I want to put in context what happened. And I'm in shock that nothing's happening because I know that if I were there and they gave me the binder, as soon as I walked off the White House grounds, I wouldn't even get in the Uber, okay? I would sit down on the sidewalk and live stream on YouTube immediately and start reading the binder. And we had a similar thing happen with this many years ago with the Starr Report. And the Starr Report, which may not seem like a big deal today, at the time it was, and the Starr Report had Monica Lewinsky's testimony in it. Now it's part of history, but back then we didn't have the details, and the president gave a deposition. And Steve and I, we were on the air, and what we did is we printed up the entire Starr Report. Oh man, did we use a lot of paper. I probably got in trouble for that. I don't know. They weren't happy. And Steve and I read the testimony live on the air immediately when that Starr Report came out, Monica Lewinsky's depositions and everything. And it was incredibly graphic. And we read it cold because it just came out. And we did have to do a disclaimer if there were children listening because this was about President Clinton. And as soon as it was out there, we were reading it live. And I'm seeing these guys, and news didn't travel as fast back then as it does now. And these guys, yesterday, I'm hearing nothing. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then first tweet comes out, it's Jack Posobiec. And Jack Posobiec puts out a tweet that he's going to be going live in a few minutes, and he's going to be talking. So he goes live, he's on X, and it was a video stream he did on X, Twitter. And it's him sitting there talking into a microphone in a studio, and he had the binder sitting in front of him unopened. And he's not going through it. And I'm like, what? I was very frustrated at this point. And I know a lot of you were too. And so I started, well, why are these people not doing it? So my first thought was this, that, well, maybe there is some new information in there. It was out of character for all of these people not to immediately go on X, go on Twitter, and start sharing it. I was in shock. These people live by trying to be trending on Twitter. It's their whole life is to be trending on X. That's all. And they do nothing but that. They spend all their days trying to do that. and they have the story of the century. Only a handful of them have it because it wasn't given to anybody else in the press. It wasn't given to Congress. It wasn't given to the American people on the internet. There's a handful of people. They're the only ones that have it, and they're all trend clout chasers, and they're not sharing it. So and it's very bizarre. So my first thought was this. There's some new names in there, and none of them don't want to be first. None of them want to be first because if there's new names, they don't want to get sued by some celebrity or politician or famous person for accusing them of doing something, okay, like that, because you can, get in trouble for doing that. So that was my first thought. And then a little time goes by, and Liz Wheeler is the first one to get specific. She does a lot. I played the audio of her in the first hour. I'm not going to play it now. But she went through what happened. There was nothing new in the files. Nothing. And what had happened was the Epstein files are held by the FBI and the Southern District of New York. And Pam Bondi was ordered by the president to declassify the Epstein files. Now, they do have to redact the victims' names, even in a declassification. And Pam Bondi ordered the FBI and the Southern District of New York to hand her all the files. Give her all the files. They gave her 200 pages of nothing. They disobeyed a direct order from the President of the United States and the Attorney General of the United States. So what Pam Bondi did is handle this in a way that it was a PR mistake for the moment that she did yesterday. It was a PR blunder. She didn't have a press conference explaining what happened. She gave this binder to people, and people are flipping out because they're starting to accuse Pam Bondi of being part of some Epstein conspiracy, which is absurd. So what Pam Bondi did, though, she gave these binders filled with information that's already been public. She sent a letter to her friend, Kash Patel, explaining to her that the FBI did not give her the files. And she's creating a legal trail, a legal process. She's handling this like a lawyer, not like a media person, which I think was a mistake, but she's still doing it. So in the letter she sent to Kash Patel, she gave the Southern District of New York until 8 a.m. this morning, which was just a few minutes ago, until 8 a.m. this morning to produce all the files. Now, I was checking. I didn't see anything come through that they did it. I don't expect them to do it. What they may at best do is give her a bunch of nothingness again and say they did it when they did it. So now the ball is in Pam Bondi's court. This morning, we're going to find out what Pam Bondi is going to do because the deadline has come and gone, and if they would have delivered everything to her, it would be all over the place now, I would think. Okay, I'm going to continue to monitor through the rest of the program this morning, but just be a little patient because I promise you, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are on this. They're just not handling it in the way that we would like them to handle, which is with press conferences and being angry at the press conference. That's what I'd like to see, but that they're handling it in a different way for whatever reason. I think it's for legal reasons. She doesn't want to do this in the media. They're establishing things legally. So now that the deadline is come and gone, we shall see. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name's Jared from Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, listen, just a little laugh before I get back into work, man. Listen, I understand that Pam Bondi is going through some things, and she has to sort a lot of things out with the FBI and all the intelligence agencies. But you know what? Until then, it'd be cool if she could give us a Tupac and Biggie files.
Who cares about that? Really? Come on.
Listen, man, let's say it
the
is.
Tupac, you know? I mean, come on. Get your priorities straight.
Listen, my priorities are straight, man. But I'm just saying, just for a little laugh, you know.
For a little laugh.
You know,
I mean, they're trying to save our country and civilization. You know, not make you laugh.
And they're doing a great job.
Oh yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah, they're doing a wonderful job, you know. Like, but I don't know. I mean,
the Diddy files. I'll go with you on the Diddy. The Diddy files.
It'd be great to be able to know that.
The Diddy files are going to come out. The prosecutor says they're going to release them with names that are pretty well-known names, famous household names, they said, as the case progresses. So we're going to get all that. You know, there's no political things involving P. Diddy that's going to stop it from being released. If the Democrats were in charge, yeah, because a lot of their friends, but that's all going to come out in the course of the legal case. And so far as Tupac, I mean, come on, who cares about Tupac? There's no conspiracy with that. Not a government one, at least.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, man, I just thought I'd just call in.
All right, take care. That guy was holding on for a long time. Oh, my goodness, for that? A little weak. Be holding on for that long? I guess he thought it was funny. I don't know. All right, listen, we'll take our first break of the third hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. Hopefully the other calls are a little more interesting. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll take our first break of the third hour and be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. Stand by. We'll be back in 1 minute. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the calls when we get back. Hopefully, the quality of the calls will elevate in the last 30 or 40 minutes. Thank you, Robert. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. 20 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show on our Open MAGA Mic Open Phone Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. Hi, it's George from Albany, New York.
Hey, George.
How you doing?
Hi.
I'm going to make this short. If indeed things were buried in the Hoover files, including all this Epstein business that went on, what's the point of even talking about it if somehow the Attorney General, Kash, Patel, and the people he puts inside can't get a hold of these?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to think that Patel can't get his own people in there to dig deep.
I'll tell you why, because you know
if it exists, it may have been destroyed. You know, you think it may have been destroyed by now. All this stuff.
I don't think so. I think some of it was destroyed, but people don't know where those files are unless your name, like Comey knows, right? Somebody like Comey knows. You know, those. I believe this in all my heart. Okay, that the J. Edgar Hoover files, they've been adding to them ever since. Whatever they have on politicians and important people from Epstein are in those files now. The rest has been destroyed. They're just not... The reason that they talk about it is because a couple reasons. The people that we're talking about here are the ones that have been behind the lawfare against President Trump for 10 years and the people that tried to twice kill him during the campaign. So there's also an expectation from MAGA voters of these Epstein files, you know. So there's several reasons why. Expose the corruption.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'd be skipping over the Epstein situation. I certainly hope they find as much as they possibly can. And you're right. If they don't comply, Bondi should send the federal marshals in there and start arresting people.
Yeah, for obstruction. And I'll tell you, and whatever other charges. See, the Epstein stuff. One of the reasons I haven't really talked about it much over the years is because what I'm telling you now, I've always known. We're never there. Those files are anything incriminating that he has is never going to be available. And because I know that, I haven't ever gotten jazzed up about it like a lot of people are. And so many people have had this expectation that there's going to be some sex tape with former presidents and tech people, you know, and that's just not going to happen. And people put their expectations into these things that are never going to happen. And I think you gotta understand that, you know, just like the Kennedy files.
I think you're right. That people should tone things down. That way, there's not a disappointment or an accusation that is somehow people in the Trump cabinets aren't fulfilling what people expect them to do. So you're right. You have to tamp down expectations.
Well, you do. Exactly.
I would be very disappointed getting to the JFK files. I'd be very disappointed. And again, I firmly believe there's conspiracy there. I think it's you can see it, you can feel it.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
If Oswald was even one of the shooters. Now, I know he was part of it in some way, but I'm not really sure if he was one of the shooters or not. I'm starting to have second doubts about that now.
Well, his wife was the daughter of a Soviet general. You know, I mean, of course, he was involved. To what extent we know. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, though. Great call. Great call. Okay. And I agree with everything that guy said. You know, but the thing about the Kennedy files, it's going to be the same thing. Anything that was in there is long gone, but they didn't document their conspiracy to kill the President of the United States in Dallas. It's just, you know, you gotta have realistic expectations for these things. And maybe I do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from California. How you doing this morning?
All righty. What's up, Sean?
Well, I wanted to compliment your level-headed coverage of the events yesterday with the Epstein flight logs, Pam Bondi, and all that. And this is a topic I could go back and forth with you for hours on. We are seeing, like you have said, Pam Bondi is going to lay out a case here. Don Jr. even put out a tweet saying there will be no mistakes, no legal loopholes. I'm paraphrasing his tweet, but they are going to do this intentionally to find out who in New York has been protecting
That's right.
Epstein. So they have grounds now to go shake up the Southern District of New York, that particular location. Kash Patel might kick in doors, or he might, just do subpoenas.
Well, I'll tell you what, some of what's happened is some of these bad guys have been smoked out and have unknowingly revealed themselves.
Exactly. And the thing is, there's still these trafficking rings going on globally. So it's going to show they might be scrambling to cover up their newest trafficking ring that replaced Epstein. So she's got to get a lot out of this, but she's got to do it by the numbers. If she does it wrong, one of these Soros judges might pop up. And
I'll tell you with Pam Bondi is not a television person. She is a lawyer in kind of a boring way. She's not a publicity person. So she's not handling this in the way that I would like, but I think she's probably handling it in a better way.
Exactly. If you're yelling and making a big to-do about it, like you said, there's a lot of libel and slander that can be thrown back at people if they start releasing names early. And connected to that, of all people, Mike Cernovich, him and Alan Dershowitz got the ball rolling again in your area in Florida with the Miami Herald. So at least Dershowitz
Dershowitz is awesome. I've interviewed him many times. I love Dershowitz. I was shocked that Cernovich was one of the guys there yesterday. I was shocked.
In a way, he has standing to be there.
No, he does.
He did a fundraiser that helped get money to get that whole ball.
I like Cernovich a lot. I always have. I remember when he was on Periscope a long time ago. I like Cernovich. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Okay, we're elevating the quality just a little bit. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, we'll take this one. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Never Trumper Steve here in beautiful Palm City.
Hey, Steve.
I wanted to go over with you. It'll be topical next week if the threat is actually done. Namely, Trump is threatening the tariffs again.
You know what? Hold on. You know what? Steve, listen, we're up against the break. I'm going to hold you over through the break. All right?
Okay.
All right. I don't do that too often, but I'll do it for him today. We'll see. Maybe it's worth it. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. That's our code for open phones. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. Phone's very busy today. Hang in there. We'll be back in just over a minute. One minute. We'll be back in 1 minute, guys. Oh, the show is flying by. I don't know where it went today. Less than half an hour left. If you're new, this is a bottom of the hour break for our radio stations. Traffic, weather, commercials, those things. 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. All right, I held Never Trumper Steve over. Never Trumper Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, so the topic is tariffs, which is topical because Trump has threatened again next week to initiate the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, 25%, threatening the EU as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as late as yesterday at the White House, he again said something not true, that it is the country that pays the tariff. So I'm wondering, have you ever explained to your audience who pays the tariff? I can do it in 30 seconds, but it's certainly not the country. And the reason I bring it up is because we were promised day one, and your audience was promised day one, that prices on everything would come down.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously haven't, not just eggs, just about everything else.
Yeah.
And now we have a threat of prices going up even more when your audience understands who pays it. Have you ever explained it to your audience?
Well, I'll give you the 30 seconds, then I'm going to respond to your stupidity. You explain it, then I'll respond.
Okay. So let's say
because I don't. The reason I want you to explain it is because I don't want to argue with you about who pays for tariffs. So just get your explanation of import taxes out, and then I'll explain.
Okay. So let's make believe Best Buy is at the loading docks where the TVs come in, for example, from Mexico. And normally, in a normal situation, let's say they pay $100 for each TV. Now Trump is putting a tariff on Mexico of 25%. So now it's not Mexico that pays that $25. It is Best Buy, the importing country, that pays instead of 100, 125, and then Best Buy, of course, will pass on that extra $25.
Okay, you're over to the consumer. Okay, you're over 30 seconds. Okay, as opposed to talking about economic theory out of an economics textbook, I'm going to tell you who's going to pay for these import taxes. By the way, it is very historic, guys. You'll never hear Democrats and liberals argue against taxes, raising taxes, ever again. Now they're against it. I'm going to tell you exactly who's going to pay for the import taxes from Canada, Mexico, the EU, and any other country. You know who's going to pay for them? No one. No one.
Who?
No one.
Why is that?
Good.
You just made that up.
No,
$25?
No, I didn't make that up, and I'll tell you why. What President Trump is talking about is reciprocal tariffs, right? So if our import tax will be whatever theirs is on our goods. As an example, you want to use the 25%. If the EU has a 25% tariff on American products, our tariff on their products is going to be 25%. So what they will do is lower their import taxes to a reasonable level, and President Trump will make our import tax whatever theirs is. So what you're going to find, is that the import taxes, they like to say tariffs. They don't, because they don't want to verbally say they're against a tax, so they say tariffs. They use code words. So actually, what you're going to find overall is that tariffs, import taxes, it's the same thing, are actually going to go down. So no one's going to be paying for them.
Well, then it shouldn't be brought up to begin with.
Well, you brought it up. I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
I don't care about.
You're the one that brought it up.
Citizens a bit paying more. We're going to pay more. And again, he hasn't done anything to lower prices to begin with. So now he's saying, "Oh yeah, there may be some pain after all." We didn't hear.
No, actually, the number one.
No,
listen, I'm gonna move on because we've got a busy calls, but I'm gonna respond. President Trump is the number one. There's several causes of inflation. Okay, go. Listen to the great Milton Friedman. Okay, one of the biggest causes, and Milton Friedman believed this was the number one cause of inflation, was government spending, of which President Trump is cutting out by the boatload. And that's just phase one of what he's doing. So prices will come down. Just be patient. All right, good to talk to you, Never Trumper Steve. Gave me an opportunity to praise our great president. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Jay from Jersey.
Hey, Jay, speak up.
Okay, let me take you off
speak. Yeah, sure. Jay from Jersey is going to explain it all. Get ready, people.
Yeah. Well, it's so many things I would love to hit you with because there's so many of.
Give me your best. Give me your best shot. Take me down with your best.
Okay, let me think. Why haven't you talked about all the cuts that he's making? That all those nice lily white people are losing their jobs.
Who?
All those Trump supporters. Wait a minute. All those Trump supporters. All those people who voted for him.
Jay, I gotta ask you.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. Let me just say.
Are you talking to me live? Because this is word for word what you said on your last call. Is this a tape that I'm talking to from your last call?
I said to you, remember I told you when he got in office that I was going to call you and say this. Remember, if you don't remember.
Yeah, you did this last week. Last time I talked to you, you said the same thing, word for word.
Yeah. My friend, she's black. She voted for Trump. Only friend I know that voted for Trump.
Well, what's her name?
She voted for Trump.
What's her name?
Why should I tell you her name?
Okay. Your fictitious imaginary friend.
Nikki. You wouldn't know her anyway. Nikki. All right.
Nookie? Her name is Nookie?
Nikki.
Nikki.
Nikki. Okay? She has 3 artistic kids. Don't ask me.
Artistic? Her kids are artists? Artistic? They're artists?
You know what I'm saying.
You said they're artistic. She has 3 kids who are artists.
They're
okay.
Artistic.
They're artistic.
Okay.
They're artists.
3.
Are they painters?
And
Sculptors?
Guess what? Her Medicaid is going to be canceled for those sick kids.
So wait a minute.
You think that's a good thing?
What medication has been cut off?
He's cutting Medicaid.
No, he has to illegals. Is Nookie an undocumented illegal? Nookie, give me a break.
No.
You can't even make up a good name.
Nookie.
You said
her
Nookie.
Name's not Nookie.
What's her name?
I said Nikki.
Nikki. Okay, Nikki. So tell me what medications.
What's wrong? You can't hear?
I can hear. I can hear.
I said Medicaid.
So nothing. So she hasn't lost. Her kids haven't lost any medication.
Boy, you're not even listening.
No, I am listening.
Okay, you know, before you hang up on me, I want to ask you this.
Ask away.
You don't find it funny when your president had the great big meeting the other day, and the real president ran the meeting, and he sat there like a dummy. You didn't find that to be funny, or that was not the way it's supposed to go?
I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah, you seen that big meeting he had with all the staff, all them
the
nuts
cabinet
he
member.
hired.
The cabinet.
And then Elon Musk ran the meeting, and he sat there
Okay.
like a dummy.
No, Jay, I want to get back to Nookie.
Yeah.
What medication was cut off from Nookie's kids?
You want to ignore the main part because I told you.
No. You said that your friend. You said your friend Nookie.
Her Medicaid is being cut.
Has it been cut?
Medicine.
Has the Medicaid been cut? Why does
know what I'm talking
why
about.
does she have 3 autistic?
Talk about why
Excuse
did,
me.
Why did Elon
Why does she?
Musk
How did
tell
she end up?
President
Excuse
Trump
me.
to shut up?
How did she end up with 3 autistic kids?
That's what I told you. I said she got 3 autistic kids.
How did she get 3 of them? What happened?
3.
How old is she? Is she old or eggs old?
3 different kids. All her kids are autistic.
Are they
3
the
different
same?
fathers.
Are they? Oh, she's got 3 baby daddies.
Yes, she does, and had 3 autistic kids.
Do you know, my daughter's grown up now, but before she was grown up, do you know who paid for her medication when she had to have medication?
Guess what, though?
No, who? Wait, who do you think paid? Who do you think? Who do you think paid for my daughter's medication?
Probably like who pays for my son's medication. I did.
Okay, I have one child.
have
Excuse
an
me.
autistic child.
Why do you think I have only one child? I could have adopted other children. Why do I have 1, not 3? Why do you think? Why do I have 1 child and Nookie has 3?
Because you couldn't afford them.
No.
You couldn't afford them.
No, because I'm financially responsible.
Yeah.
I'm a responsible parent.
Oh, guess who else is? So am I.
Well, not Nookie.
But guess what?
Nookie has 3 kids with 3 different baby daddies. Why aren't the baby daddies paying for the medication? Why do you want me to pay for it? I think Nookie's giving away too much. I think she's giving away too much Nookie. Too much Nookie going on with Nookie in your fictitious story. He can't even make up a good story that sounds credible. He makes up a story about Nookie that makes my point. Oh, my goodness. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Call us on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. I wish Nookie was real. You know, the idea that Renee has a friend who's a black woman with 3 kids and 3 baby daddies, and she voted for Trump in New York or New Jersey or wherever, that in itself is ridiculous. If you're on hold, hang in there. There's one opening on our very busy board. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Open MAGA Mike Friday. Final segment coming up. We'll be right back. Hey there, it's Brian. I'm going to put you on hold. Stand by. Okay. Less than a minute. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals ending up the week?
Oh, they're giving us that nice buying opportunity that we've been looking for over a couple of months now. Yesterday, we saw gold close down $39.40 after trading in a range of $28.65 to $29.21. Closing out the day at $2,876.60, down $39.40. Silver lost 62 cents at $31.24 the ounce, while platinum was down $20 at $9.45, and palladium was down $11 at $902. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $28.50, should be some support down there, to $28.85, and right now we're at $28.57, down $19.60. Silver down 14 cents at $31.10 the ounce. Platinum down $5 at $940, and palladium down $2 at $900 the ounce. So a great buying opportunity, one we've been waiting for, and it's a nice pullback so far. The metal's giving us a great opportunity to come in and buy buy the precious metals at low premiums and at a lower price. So
yeah, that's amazing. So I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but William Youngerman, you've got a sale going on gold and silver today. This is awesome. So a Friday sale at William Youngerman's. And you say the premiums are looking good. How is it looking on the in the gold on the American Gold Eagle and the American Gold Buffaloes?
Yeah, those took they were down last week on premiums, but the premiums have come back up, so they're basically at normal premiums on the gold and Eagles. But there's other products that are still at fabulous buys right now. The Australian kangaroos.
Oh, those are
gold
beautiful.
Bars, almost all the other products are great values right now.
And those Australian kangaroos, not only are they beautiful coins, they're very special. Can you talk a little bit about those, because they're really undervalued, and you got an ounce of gold.
Yeah, they're 1 ounce pure gold, 9995. They're beautifully encapsulated to protect that very soft pure gold. And they're very popular. We sell thousands of them, and people love them.
Yeah, they're beautiful, beautiful coins. All right, listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010. And remember, you can do your transactions over the phone and through the mail with William Youngerman. It's very easy. 1-800-327-5010. Or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto, and find both William Youngerman's address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com, williamyoungerman.com. And if you guys go over there and you look at those Australian kangaroos, I think your eyes are going to light up. I mean, they're beautiful. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Thank you. No, you too.
All right, take care. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go back to the phones in a moment, but I'm very excited because I'm a pound and a half away from my goal. You know, when I first met with Dr. Zuckerman over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, he says, "What are you looking to do, Brian?" I said, "Well, we've got our cruise. We leave on March 30th. I want to lose 25 pounds by the cruise." And I started a week after the inauguration, and I'm a pound and a half away from my 25-pound goal. Isn't that amazing? And I don't know. I might go for 30, or I might stick with the 25 because I got to go buy some new belts, some new pants. So before the cruise, and I'm going to have to go to the tailor with my suits and have them altered because I haven't tried them on yet, but they're going to be falling off my body. Not only have I lost all this weight, and what's amazing to me about it, I'm not hungry, I'm not exercising, I'm not doing steps, I'm not running, I'm not jogging, I'm not walking, I'm not speed walking, and I'm not on any medications. People ask, I hear this from listeners all the time, are you on those? No. Also, not only that, I'm not hungry. I thought I was going to be starving. And I'm not hungry. In fact, I'm less hungry now than I was before ever. I'm not usually at this time of the show. I'm starving. I'm not hungry, and I have a ton more energy. I mean, I've got more energy than I've ever had before, and you can do the same. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. Go see Dr. Zuckerman. I'm going to give you the number now. When you call and stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. Here's the number: 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. coastalweightlosssecret.com. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. It's Tom from Florida.
Oh, hey, Tom. How you doing?
Listen, buddy, I just want to let you know, you got almost a poll out there saying that a lot of people are regretting voting for him because, on day one, he said it about 5 or 6
Speak
times.
Speak up, Tom. I want to hear your liberal hallucinations clearly. Speak up.
My independent American view. So, he promised about 6 or 7 times in his speeches that starting day one, I'm going to bring them down.
Yeah, yes. No. You said in the beginning, you said there's a lot of MAGA voters, a lot of Trump voters that regret their vote? That's what you said. Who?
Yes.
Who? Can you give me a name? Do you know anyone?
They did a poll. Well, like
a poll.
I guess that's a big stock in them. You know what I'm saying?
A poll. So you don't know anyone. So no one. You can't think. There's no one. There's no one.
Well, I mean, unless you want to. I mean, I would say television polls, but then you would go, "Oh my God, the fake news." So
yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Fake news. Fake news. Believe me, there's no one who's a MAGA person that regrets their vote.
Well, just like.
So you mean So when they say that, so this is interesting, Tom. Let's take this talking point. Let's take this talking to a liberal is like trying to have a conversation with a scripted telemarketer. So you're telling me there are MAGA Trump voters who regret their vote. So that means they wish they would have voted for Kamala Harris? Is that what that means?
Maybe he just should have just. Instead of wanting to win so bad.
No. Why would someone who voted for President Trump, who's MAGA, why would they wish they would have voted for Kamala?
Okay, that MAGA adjective you keep using, I guarantee there's a lot of Americans that don't consider themselves, I would put myself in front of a bullet for Donald Trump.
All right, I think you're hallucinating now. See, I try to question him on his talking points, and then he starts babbling on me. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Roland and Davey.
Hey, Davey. What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
I heard Jay spoke this morning. He has no clue. Him and Tom both have no clue. Their president's the one that messed everything up. We're trying to fix this.
I think,
gonna listen to them.
With Tom and Jay, I think they're the two people that watch MSNBC.
I believe it. We don't believe anything the Democrats got to say.
But both of them made up everything they had to say. Jay has this friend named Nookie that has 3 children by 3 baby daddies, and all 3 are autistic. Come on. Tom has a poll that MAGA voters wish they would have voted for Kamala Harris. I mean, come on. I mean, this is
crazy, man. They're crazy, man.
Not even credible lies.
They're still trying to figure out. They can't even answer the simple question: what has your president done for you to make our life better? They still can't answer the question.
Well, Donald Trump is their president. That's what really freaks them out. Donald Trump is their president, and he's our president.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I tell you what, my life turned around. I'm glad that man's back, and I want to let Jay know I am a black man, and I voted for Trump.
Yeah, I know you're black. We can tell you're black by your voice. You sound black.
Yes, sir.
But you know that. There's nothing wrong with that.
For Trump, Jay.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know Nookie? Do you know Nookie? She voted for Trump too with her 3 autistic kids and the 3 baby daddies. Nookie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was the stripper.
Yeah, Nookie. The stripper.
Hey, bro, have a good weekend, brother. I appreciate it, man.
All right, take care. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're getting some good calls here at the end. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Chris from Florida.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Brian, have you heard about the $70 billion investment in infrastructure by Ron DeSantis?
No. Just now from you.
So, well, you've been talking for a while now about how he's going to set himself up after he's governor, and I'm just wondering, $70 billion for road construction in Florida. I've been in road construction 30 years, and $70 billion sounds like a lot.
I don't know. What part of Florida are you in?
The Treasure Coast.
Oh, the Treasure Coast. Drive down to Miami. The roads suck.
Yes, sir. I worked on a job down there in Fort Lauderdale recently.
Yeah.
And that job was $500 million. So you'd have to do a lot of $500 million jobs to equal $70
well,
billion.
let me tell you.
And then we're just.
Let me tell you, I don't believe anything Ron DeSantis said. Ron DeSantis lied to President Trump, and he lied to the Republican voters of Florida. He said he wouldn't run against Trump. He did. And he's also fake MAGA. So I don't believe anything he says. And my guess for him, I don't think his prospects after being governor are looking too good, because that's why he's got this fantasy that his wife's going to be the governor.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. I thought of you immediately when I saw this article, because it seems to me like that's a perfect way for him to set himself up for later in life for financial gain.
I predicted long ago that he would end up on the board of directors of Disney. I'm telling you. I made that prediction. At some point, he'll end up on the board of directors of Disney. And that
I trust your judgment.
well, I don't know. It's not judgment. It's just a prediction. We'll see. All right, thanks for the call. We're running short on time. All right. Oh, hold on. Let's take one. Probably shouldn't, but we'll take one more. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's JJ.
Oh, hey, JJ. We're short on time, so your last call of the day.
Okay, the PR narrative, the PR mistake narrative, I disagree with that. I think that Trump, Vance, and Kash and Bondi all in the same room. I mean, I think they did this 100% on purpose. I think it's a targeting op. It was a trap. They did it planned and public.
Well, I'm talking. Given those binders to those influencers, those influencers look like clowns when they came out. They looked really stupid. The influencers, and I know a couple of them are friends of mine. And that I know personally.
Planned in public. And what's the narrative going to be going forward? Is that America, this is the deep state in action. This is what we're up against. We're getting obstruction from the FBI, the SDNY. I mean, it's going to all be about, these are the bad FBI agents that, raided my home in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
This is showing America. This was, to me, I don't think it was a mistake at all, because you can't have Trump in that room, Brian.
Okay.
You can't have him.
Listen, I'm out of time, JJ, but you make some good points, and I'll consider what you said, and I think you're right. The rest of you on hold, well, we're out of time for today. We'll be back Monday. My name is Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Don't forget, guys, follow me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. I'm always doing shows over the weekend and throughout the week there. It's Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1997. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back Monday morning at 6 a.m. God bless Donald Trump. See you Monday. All right, we're out. Thanks, everyone, for watching. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe, all right? I appreciate it. You guys.